All right, good morning, Coffee and Sports. We're playing Big Country Football League 1952. It is week 4, game 2, between the Grand Bay Grays, who are 1-2, and the Coaldale Miners, who are 3-0. And I'll be playing this out. I've got their full rosters written in front of me. I always keep their full rosters in files, but I generally put something on an index card to conserve space. But this morning, I'm going to lay these full rosters in front of me, and we're going to play with these. But I thought first I'd go over the history. So again, when I play test these games before they actually go to publication, I do so playing out complete seasons. So I played out a 47 season of football, hockey. Anyway, so I have the history of this league real quick before we start the game. So 47-48, I did not break into two because I didn't change anything. So the playtest teams, when they wrapped up, how they were rated and how the game was built, that was the league that went in the book, and that was the rules. And then I played the 1948 season with Big Country Football, which is the 2D20 engine. So it was a completely different game, but I had them rated for the book to play. So I actually used BCF, the 2D20 full game football sim, for my first season of BCF, Big Country Football. And then I transitioned back to the fast play because it could do both long play and fast play reliably. So anyway, 1947-48, these are the ratings for all the teams, and then how they changed in 49, and who was the champs, and how the league expanded. And then in 1950, again, how the ratings changed, who was the champ, who was the runner-up. And of course I have all these records also, in files that are put away for the whole season, the box scores and everything. But this is just so I can see how the teams have changed. 1951, this was when we cut down to a 16 league, as half the teams broke away and did their own league. And then we have our 16 league in 51. And then I'm right in the middle of 52. These are the ratings for the teams that I'm playing right now. And then, of course, when we're done, I do the off season. They'll go 53 will go in here. So pretty cool. So where we're at now in this particular setup is Grand Bay, who's 1-2. They have never, in 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, they have never sniffed a championship. Coaldale has been phenomenal the last 3 years. They have been runners-up twice. So Coaldale at 3-0, to be honest, this has kind of got to be, it's kind of got to be their year, right? I mean, I think it has to be. However, again, we're looking at where the heck are my ratings? Oh, they're on the. I was like, where are my cards? Where are my football cards? I got my football cards abandoned somewhere for the actual ratings. This is what happens. You got here they are. I got too much crap piled up here for these videos. When I do these videos, I like to have everything handy. And I end up with stuff getting buried. All right. So Grand Bay, here they are on top because I was getting ready to play them, and I wanted to break out the rosters for the full game. So Grand Bay is a CC. That's what matters in this game, is the offense-defense ratings. And Coaldale is a BB. And right now, that BB is still the best overall team in the game, and they are 3-0 right now. So this might be their year. There are teams with a better, BD, BA. Oh, well, Central City. Sorry, take that back. Central City is the highest rated team in 52. So Coaldale may have to get over Central City, and then Middletown, who's who's finally won a championship. Unfortunately, their offense fell apart in the offseason, but their defense is the best in the league. All right, so Coaldale, Grand Bay. I got my box score here. First thing we're going to do is, again, I can play out the whole game, or I can resolve the quarters, the drives, however I want. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get us well into the game by resolving the first few quarters. So let's get our matchups. We got C versus B. C versus B defense is D. So Grand Bay today will be a D. And Coaldale is B versus C. B versus C is B. So Coaldale will be the slightly better team. And we're going to roll up the first stuff here. So CD. Let's find my dang charts, my football charts. There they are. American Football League. All right. So here we go. First drive of the game. And again, I will be rolling all the dice, but I'm measuring the red die is the one that matters for this possession chart. So Coaldale will get the kickoff down here at home. And here we go. Their first drive of the game is 3. 3 is a punt, so they're going to end up punting. I'm not going to track the ball on the field. I'll get to that when we're actually playing. All right, so that was a punt. Grand Bay takes over, and they're looking at the D charts, and Grand Bay, 3, they're going to punt as well. So far, all defense in this game. All right, Coaldale gets the punt. They go to work, and they're going to end up punting again. Wow, first quarter may come to an end with nobody able to break the ice here and get a touchdown. 5. 5 is a short field goal. So there it is. Grand Bay will break the ice. And it'll be Norton who hits a short field goal. Short field goal for me is teens up to 20, right? So I just put in here short field goal. But guess what? Grand Bay on the road against the undefeated Coaldale is up 3-0. They grind down after a series of punts and finally get a chip shot field goal. So probably like a 17, 18, 20, a 19-yard field goal, something like that. All right, here we go. Starting the second quarter, Coaldale goes to work. And Coaldale's going to turn over. And then I've got my 3-die-6. That's 8, 9, 10, 11. I'll go back here to my turnover chart. We'll see what that turnover is. Turnover 11 is halfback, hit hard, ball fumbled. Pow! So Plum, their top back, fumbles the ball away. Fumble lost. And again, we don't have to check to see if it's a recovery. We know it's a turnover, so all we need to know is who turned it over. Plum gets ripped up, ball pops loose, and guess what? Now Grand Bay goes to work. Grand Bay's going to have to punt, though, so they had driven it away. Coaldale gets the ball back. And they're going to have to punt. Man, this is a low-scoring game. Coming to halftime, Grand Bay's last chance to score before the halftime pep talk by Georgievic. And they're going to turn over. Turnover is 7, 10. So come back here and look up the details. You don't have to. You can just roll for fumble or interception, etc. But I like to look at the details here. 8, 9, 10. 10 is QB fumbles the snap. So the quarterback, Grantham, the old man. Grantham is the oldest quarterback in the league. He's going to fumble the snap at center. And there it is. Unbelievable. Halftime. My God, folks. It's 3-0 as Grand Bay has somehow found a way to get a chip shot field goal in a tight contest. All right, third quarter. Let's get rolling. So Grand Bay will get the kickoff to start the quarter. And here we go. Grand Bay looking at the D charts, and they're somehow on the lead. Turnover. 11, 15 on the turnover chart. So what will it be? It's a turnover 15. Ball floats wide. Picked off. So Grantham's back-to-back turnovers in this game. Starting with pre-halftime fumble of the snap. Fortunately, time expired on Coaldale. And here he is intercepted by see here, where is my interception chart? Intercepted by 5. 5 is linebacker. So linebacker, I got Farmer, Pickford, and Limke to choose from. I always go with the top guy first. So Farmer will get the interception. Not always. Sometimes I use the star rating or whatever. But Farmer gets a pick by Coaldale. And that's huge for Coaldale. What will they do with it, though? This particular version of the rules does not have the short field rule. That is in the brand new book. So I could use the short field rule, but I'm going to stick with what the book says for fairness. And when I play this game, which will be when I play the full football time simulation, this will be the book I use. So I'll be sticking to these rules when I do stuff like this to keep things the way they were designed. All right, Coaldale with the ball. What can they do with it? And unfortunately, folks, they're going to have to punt. So Grantham had thrown an interception deep downfield that they could not parlay into points. I can't believe it. Grand Bay's final possession of the third. What can they do with it? And they're going to have to punt. Man, All defense today, or shabby offense. All right, final drive before we go into the full sim. On the B charts, can Coaldale finally get in the end zone? And 6, they sure will. 6 and 9. Let's look at the touchdown. So they're going to get a touchdown, and it is the PAT is good. And 9, how do they score? So Coaldale in the third quarter, trying to get going here in front of hometown fans. It's going to be a pitch out to Plum. He's going to run off trap left and rip through for a touchdown. So Plum, who fumbled earlier in the day, is going to get a run TD. And I'll put in parentheses here, trap play. Right? A little trap. And the PAT is good. And my gosh, folks, third quarter, Grand Bay, thanks to an interception and a punt, get nothing. Coaldale finally gets their offense going. And Plum will run it in on a trap left. Touchdown. Grand Bay now will have the ball to start in perfect timing because we're going to start with a kickoff. So now we're going to go full simulation. D charts for Grand Bay, and Grand Bay returns the kickoff net 23 yards. So Grand Bay will return it out. Remember, I use static special teams on my D66 football time, D66. So they need to get the 20-33 for a first down. All right, first down, I roll everything. And we're looking at the D charts for the offense of Grand Bay. Grand Bay, by the way, quarterback Grantham, Time is the halfback, Cable is the fullback, Roberson at the X receiver, the tight end Y is Wilkerson, and the Z flanker receiver is James. Offensive tackle White, Sims at guard, those are my left side, Williams center, and right side of the line is Bernard at guard and Watley at right tackle. On defense, Coaldale, Kleinhaus, who is one of the best defensive players in our league, Washington, Johnson, and Jolly are the front four. Farmer, the top linebacker. Pickford is in the middle for that linebacking core for Coaldale. Lemke is the weak side backer. Fairbanks is their top defensive back. Jones at the opposite corner, and then we have Williams at free safety and Lejeune at strong safety. And let's see now what Grand Bay in the fourth quarter can do. Grand Bay. It's going to be a handoff for 7 yards to Time. Actually, we use the one. One is fullback. Is Time. Yep. So 7 yards, second down and 3. Beautiful carry. On the D charts, here we go. 66 touchdown. Holy cow! 6-6 is a TD on every chart, and we're gonna have holy cow. And then I rolled a 17, so a very rare kind of touchdown, at least on the charts, rare. 17, quarterback trap, whoops, wrong one, I'm reading the wrong one. Quarterback naked bootleg, weak side run. So everybody chases to the far edge Time while Grantham, the old man, bootlegs naked and somehow goes 70 yards. Grantham with a 70-yard naked boot. Oh my God, run. PAT is good. And the crowd here is stunned. Grantham is one of the best. Grantham is one of the aging superstars of our league. And right there, somehow I can imagine this like 37-year-old running his arse off, and everybody, like an Amiga defense, chased. There was such a great fake handoff. Time ran him around back and forth over here. So everybody raced over to pin him in. And nobody noticed that Grantham had the ball and was running free. And I can imagine he was stumbling by the time he hit like the 15, stumbling, and guys were literally raking for his feet, and he stumbled and dove into the end zone at the last second. Grantham with a 70-yard naked boot, and that's what I mean by 17. So for those who go, that's ridiculous. Well, the narrative, he's an old man, but 17, you roll that number, you're going to get that rare result, and the rare result is a naked boot. Not rare if you're at the 2, that's okay. But it's going to be rare when I'm at the 30-yard line. That's awesome. All right, Coaldale now in shock as Grantham has made it 10-7 in the fourth. All right, the return on the B charts is 27. So the kick return out to the 27. And they've got to get to the 37 for the first. Coaldale stunned. The fans here can't believe that the old man, and I bet you anything, Grantham is pulled a muscle. You can just see him at, say, 36, 37 years old, running. He's maybe not that old. Back in the day, even 34 would have been old, 35. But I don't know. He was the old man when I started, when I wrote the write-up and I was doing the play test. So he's probably 37, and he just ran his arse off. He's going to end up in the ice bath, pulled muscles. Jeez, it's not how, but he's thrown a pick, and he's fumbled the ball away. So he should have a 70-yarder to redeem his greatness. Unbelievable. All right, 26. We're going to get a big run on the B charts. It's going to be a 4-yard run for Plum. So he had faked to time. Grantham took off. Plum gets a 4-yard carry. 2nd and 6. 2nd and 6. And Coaldale's got to get going. 62. It's going to be a drop back pass, I believe. Let's see the B charts. B chart 6-2 is going to be a pass for 9. He's going to fling it out. And let's look at that first number 2. Halfback. So he flings it out to Plum. Plum picks up 9 yards in the first down. So Plum up to the 40-yard line. Beautiful catch and run as Bellows gets the job done there. First down. Okay, 44. That's going to be a run and not so good. Runs for nothing. So again, and that is 1 again. So it's going to be a quarterback keeps it. So he tried to hold on to it. Bellows. Maybe it was a busted play. Bellows just tucks the ball behind the center, falls down. They don't mark him for a loss, but it is a run for nothing for the quarterback. And I looked at that first die, reading left to right. That's where I got quarterback. Oops. All right, here we go. 22. Another one. This can be a drop back pass, I believe. On the B charts, drops back, looks, fires, incomplete. 5. He was looking for, on the reception, he was looking for the split end. So he was looking for Porter out on the edge, and it's 3rd and 10. So Bellows has trouble finding his split end. The coverage is there, or the ball was thrown too high. Don't know. 3rd down and 10. They got to get going here. And it's going to be an interesting pass, I believe. Drops back, looks, fires, and it's going to be 1 again to the halfback. It's a pass for 5 yards, 7 yards. Pass for the back for 7, 5, 6, 7. And it is 4th and 3 at midfield. They're down by 3. Grantham just ripped off a 70-yard. Do we go for it? 1952, Coaldale's undefeated. No, they're undefeated. They're going to punt. And their net punt on the B chart is 37 yards, so it's going to be a good punt. 3, 10, 20, 30, and 5. They're going to pin them. This includes what would be the punt return. It's a net punt, so they're going to pin them at the 15. Probably a fair catch. He called a fair catch, stepped a couple feet up, caught it there. All right. Grantham's last chance to add to their lead, and still a victory from the undefeated Coaldale here in their house. Grantham goes to work. 64 on the D chart. 6-4. It's going to be a run for 2 yards by 2, and that's the halfback. That is time. Gets 2 yards. 2nd and 8. Very nice. Okay, here we go. It's going to be a 5-2. It's going to be a pass, I believe. 52 is a pass for 5. To 2, and 2 is our halfback again. So out to time for 5 yards. And that makes complete sense. He dumps it down to time, trying to stay out of trouble. Is the old man Grantham, who's had 2 turnovers today. And he's looking a little gimpy after that 70-yard run. I bet you sitting on the bench over there, he tightened up a little bit, the old man. Holy cow, 3rd and, 3? Can Grantham convert and keep the drive alive? It's going to be 15. 15 is going to be a handoff for 3. Actually, it's going to be number 3. It is a handoff to the fullback. So he gives it to Cable up the gut for 3 and a first down. 1, 2, 3, first down. The crowd here stunned as Grantham hands it off on a quick dive play to the fullback. First down at the 25. They snap the ball. 45 is going to be a interesting play. 45 is going to be a run for 6. And it's going to be 4. 4 is halfback. So time gets a 6-yard carry. 2nd and 4. Beautiful. They're starting to run the ball now and eat that clock here in the 4th. It's going to be 42. Not good. It's going to be a handoff and a loss of 1. 4, 2. 2 is the fullback. So they give it to Cable and he loses 2. 1, 2. 3rd down and 6. Can Grantham convert? 3rd and 6. It's going to be a run for 2. Nope. And the run is by fullback. So gives it to Cable. Playing it safe here. 1-2. Setting themselves up for the punt. It's a 2-yard run up the gut for Cable. And that is solely so they can punt the ball out of their territory. A 33-yard net. So it's going to be 10, 20, 30-3. Fielded and returned back to the 36. So they need to get the 46 for a first down. This is the final drive of the game. Can Coaldale drive down and tie it up? Remember, there is no overtime in my regulation. So they need at least 3 to tie the game. They want 7 to stay undefeated. They are 4-0. Bellows under center. Plum is their halfback. Greg is their fullback. Porter is their wide X receiver. Their tight end Y, Brody. Wellington is their Z-back receiver. Watson is at left tackle. Gorman at left guard. Thomas at center. Right guard Schlosser. And right tackle is O'Merick. And the defense here for the Grand Bay Grays. Can they hold out, folks, on the final drive of the game? Cone, they run a 34. Cone at D end. Hollins at middle nose tackle. He is their stud. And Jared King is their other DE. Wells is outside backer. McAndrews inside backer. Shelton inside backer. And Rodriguez is outside backer. Wells is their top. When I say top, these are the guys that make more plays in history on their box score. So when I say top, they're not rated, but they ultimately would be the top players because they make the most plays. They might have a captain rating or something. Or not rating, but a captain designation. And then Bell at DB, Washington at cornerback, Andrews at free safety, and Surtees, who's their best DB, is their strong safety. And here we go, folks. Can Grand Bay's defense pull it off, or will Bellows find a way to keep this team undefeated? Here at 615 Memorial Stadium, named after the mining accident that killed hundreds of miners, Georgievich, when he became the owner of the team, renamed the stadium in honor of that mining accident, Georgievich. 24. On the B charts, 24. They've got the best charts they could have. -2 run for 5. That's going to be the halfback. So he pitches to Plum and loses 2. 1-2. The crowd grumbling. They want to see an aggressive team go down the field here. They are not happy with that early pitch out to soften up the Grays. Oh, nice. It's going to be on the B charts. It's going to be a run for 1. This time it is the halfback. They give it to him again on an draw play, and he gets hammered. It's 3rd and 11. The crowd now booing. They do not like the play calls here to start this final drive of the game. Snaps the ball. It's going to be a handoff. No, it's going to be a quarterback. 26, quarterback keeper, 4 yards. And he's flushed from the pocket, forced to run. That's not his fault. He just scrambled to get what he could. It's 4th down, folks. And this is it. The biggest play of the game on the line. Can the defense of the Grand Bay Grays make this stop? Here we go, folks. Bellows under center, barks orders, crowd quiet, snaps. It's going to be a pass. And it's going to be 3-6. 3-6. No, it's a run. Quarterback, yep, 1. Quarterback forced to scramble for 5. It's not enough. He comes up short. The crowd can't believe it. It's going to be a turnover on downs. End of game as time expires. Oh my God, Grantham won this game on a 70-yard bootleg, and that defense of Grand Bay shut down the better team, Coaldale, holding them to 7 points. 10-7. Grand Bay is now 2-2. Coaldale gets their first loss of the year, 3-1. Unbelievable. Who made that stop on that play? So who flushed him? So here's what's cool. I got 3 dice to use. So if you want to know who's making tackles, sacks, everything, right? So the quarterback, it was not a draw. I rolled a 1, so that means the quarterback was flushed from the pocket for 5. 6 flushed him. 6 is the DL. So what DL? Let's roll the dice and find out. What DL flushed him? Cone flushed him. So Cone flushed him from the pocket. Who made the tackle? 3. Who made the tackle? 3. Linebacker. Okay, so what linebacker? Again, we're going to go with the linebackers. And it's going to be 1, 2, 3. McAndrews, inside backer, cut him down as he tried to scramble away for the first down. Cut him down 2 yards shy of the first down, and that ended the game as they would have knelt down. These guys would take over and just kneel down. Game over. And there you have it, folks. There is the second game of week 4 in my universe. Finally able to get back to these, man. I waited and waited and waited for these darn books to arrive, and lost a little steam on my big country. And now Grand Bay is 2-2. Coaldale is 3-1. But more importantly, Grand Bay closes the gap in the league. Grand Bay did this with 70-yard Grantham. The highlight, Grantham, 70-yard TD run, and that is that means something to me in my narrative because I know he's the old man. He actually was out of season. They had a rookie quarterback for a year, and then Grantham has come back, and then he somehow pulls this game out of his butt on a 70-yard naked boot. All right, Coaldale, what did they really do here? Well, they turned it over. Coaldale turned it over. Fumble. They just got handled. Coaldale punted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. So there you go. Coaldale punted. CD punted 5 times. So that's kind of explains their problem. Their offense was stuck in the mud all day. All right, we got one more game in week. One more game? Yeah, one more game. We have Unionville. Unionville is 1-2 against Springfield, who's 2-1. So it's a chance for Springfield to stretch out to 3-1 and really give Coaldale a run for the best team in the league record-wise. So there you have it, folks. That was, and again, this book, this PDF is identical PDF is free on the Google Drive. You just got to print it out. But if you want to order it and get this particular cover for whatever reason, you certainly can. These two books I'm going to leave up for a while because they've been available since January of 25. Or actually, I released them the week of Christmas. I can't remember, but I labeled them for the upcoming year. But both of these books have been available in some form as far as free PDFs for a long, long time. I've only made them available to be printed with these covers in the last few months, or weeks, I should say, probably weeks, since May. So I guess it would be a month and a half. Long story short, I won't leave these up forever because they're already available in PDF free. But for those who want to, again, I did this for me, but I always try to make something available for the public if they want to snatch them. But eventually these will come off the bookstore on Lulu. But the 2026, both editions of 2026, this cover with the cream paper and the cover featuring my old Flash football art on the back with some writing and etc. That book, identical books, different covers, both quality paper and covers are available. And of course, roller derby, all profits, even for the books, of course, go directly to the Roller Derby Hall of Fame. So in that sense, it keeps the Roller Derby Hall of Fame in a little bit of dough. All right, everybody have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.